What is your American dream?
To live a comfortable life, like where I don't have to worry about bills, I don't have to worry about anything. I'm just living comfortably to support my family and be healthy.
My American dream is to be successful and to thrive in what I do.
My American dream is to build a legacy, like my family did, my past family did, that migrated over here. For my children.
I just want to be successful, be a role model to the next generation.
American dream is to become an entrepreneur, and which I'm planning to start my own business very soon back home in Nigeria. I'm trying to gather a lot of experience and a lot of partners here in America. Nice. Then I'll take them to Nigeria.
American dream is basically live in a world where there's less stigmatism about any culture, and it's to be more accepting. Because that's what America is built off of, a melting pot of different cultures.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! Oh, I know, I'm so amazing.
Hey,
I know
Sam,
everybody
can we get your
loves
autograph?
watching me.
Can we
No
get
autographs, no autographs. Oh, get my good side. Ha 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 ha. Oh, hello everybody. Did you miss yesterday's episode of Bradshaw Live? Well, if you did, it's probably because you were too busy watching Groundhog Sam's 2-hour show on the Spar Bernstein page. 2 hours of good old me holding up this sign. And guess what? I had 8 people watching the whole 2 hours. Oh, my head's gonna get too big for my britches. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, we're doing the same thing today, so watch Groundhog Sam holding a sign on Spar Bernstein, or go to Bradshaw Live Facebook page to watch all the interesting discussions and hijinks going on Bradshaw Live. Okay, I kind of think Bradshaw Live's gonna be more entertaining than this, but hey, I hate to say anything against myself. Anyway, in case you missed yesterday's episode of Bradshaw Live, we had Pili Montilla on. Pili is an Emmy Award-winning entertainment reporter and producer. She recently came on the show to talk about her journey from her homeland of Puerto Rico to the mainland, her work, and what she's doing with the not-for-profit organization Friends of Puerto Rico to help the island after Hurricane Maria. What's on today's show? Well, stay tuned and find out.
Yeah.
All right, welcome everybody, and we are live on Bradshaw Live, where you can literally hear us. And I was just responding to Barbara Stokes, who is watching on law offices of Spar and Bernstein. If someone could instant message Barbara Stokes, she wants to know how come she can't hear. And the reason is because Groundhog Sam, which is what we just heard, is holding up a sign in absolute silence, asking people to go watch us on Bradshaw Live. So for those 15 people on law offices of Spar and Bernstein, if someone from the Bradshaw Live Brad Squad page, what are we listening to? Music somewhere?
We're hearing something somewhere.
Yeah, that's me. So if somebody can let people know on the law offices of Spar and Bernstein page that you are not supposed to hear anything. You will only hear things on the Bradshaw Live page. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome the beautiful Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
Hey.
And they have in front of them.
Oh, yeah. God.
They have in front of them.
Because of you guys.
That is correct. They have in front of them the wheel.
Yeah.
The wheel. Spinning the wheel like this, right? Now, we haven't said
Whoa.
what it spins, you see?
It spins.
Okay, so we're going to stop the
fancy.
wheel. We're going to stop the wheel right now.
Here.
Now, yesterday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
By the way, welcome Belgium Kim. Welcome Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. How are you?
Great.
Great.
Delightful.
Well, you're not so great because you heard what your role is in this. And then Belgium Kim heard what her role is in this. They don't really want to talk much right now.
These are prizes for us.
Yes, they don't really want to talk much right now. But before we go, I do want to say hello to Jeff Bosey and Dion Watson, Yvonne Steele, Tamika Nelson, Marge Higgs, Malia Loban Martin, Cordella Douglas, Barbara Lord, Tamika Nelson, Wendy Brown. Who else we got here quickly? Yvonne Steele,
Shelby Shauna,
Annie Palmer, Malia Loban Martin, and
Grandma's here.
Marge Higgs, Grandma, Jella Shauna. Anyone else quickly? Did I miss?
Collins.
Lisa Blig Rose!
Whoa!
Whoa!
pilgrimage.
watching. She finally has decided to come over to Bradshaw Live. Welcome,
Yeah.
Lisa Bling Rose and Nadisha Gordon, and welcome to everybody else. Yesterday, everybody shared over 500 times.
That was great.
And I said if you would share. Now, I do have to say something.
Yeah. The people are happy.
People are happy.
The crowd's going wild.
And we said that if you did share over 300 times, we would spin the wheel for prizes.
Right.
Yes.
Which we have right there. Okay, and we're going to explain the wheel in a second. Now, what I said in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
What I said in the middle of the show is that if we get to 500 shares.
Yeah.
500 shares, we would spin the wheel twice.
Right.
Now, here is the conundrum.
Yes.
Yesterday we were at 530 shares.
Wow.
But it is very likely that some of those shares were discounted by Facebook or the groups that they were shared into. Because when I woke up this morning, I am not making this up, and everyone can go look. You can look yourself on yesterday's show. Facebook says 499 shares. Not even 500 shares. 499 shares. So now the question becomes, will we spin the wheel once?
498.
409. That means that somebody shared it into a group and then that group deleted it.
Oh.
Okay. So the question becomes, is it that they reached 530 shares and then we have to share twice?
Right.
Or do you have to make legitimate shares that count over a 24-hour period and then it's only one spin because they missed it by 2 shares?
This is why it's the Brad Show.
All right, Yo-Yo. This is the Brad Show, but I'm going to allow Belgium and Kim and Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias to debate it out. Yonathan, you take 1 spin. Kim, you take 2 spins. You have 30 seconds. Go.
We told people that as long as we got to 500 by the end of the live show, they get to get their 2 spins. We got to more than 500 during the live show. We didn't say anything about 24-hour validity. It feels a whole lot like we're nitpicking here to not spin the wheel twice and give those people those prizes to get to that 500.
Yonathan.
I have to agree.
You're supposed to take the other side. You're the worst liar.
Because I feel bad.
You are the worst. You're the worst liar. You're supposed to take the other side.
I feel bad.
You feel bad, but the law is the law. And we said 500 shares, and there's only 498. You're supposed to take that side.
Yeah.
You're the worst lawyer.
Listen.
I'm the nice lawyer. So
All right. And by the way, Tamika Nelson, Alec Hockenberger, Marge Higgs, Cordella Douglas, and Stacey Ann Hodge all say, spin the damn wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
I say anything else, they're all down my throat.
So I have here, okay, since we did hit 500 shares.
Yes.
I have here a wheel. I'll explain it to everybody.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to start with red.
You got to show them your wheel.
Okay, they got the wheel.
Now they can see.
Okay, you see the wheel? Wait, no, go this way.
Yeah, now they can.
This
There
way.
you go.
Okay, so we're going to start with red.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Belgium Kim will spin the wheel. Make sure you spin it well.
I will.
Practice a little bit.
Okay.
So, okay.
Practice.
Because I don't know if you've ever.
Wrist action.
Yeah, a lot of wrist action. Go faster. No, you see, okay, that's fine. But you can't wiggle it. You gotta, you gotta do it.
The man has wiggling.
Fine. All right. So you practice spinning.
Okay.
Okay. Red. Okay. If the wheel ends up on red, Yo-Yo is going to partially take off his shirt and show a tattoo that has never been seen before on live Facebook.
This is crazy.
This is crazy.
That's right.
That means that you will have to. That means that you will have to take off your bike, and you will have a tattoo, and you will explain what that tattoo is and why it has never ever been seen on live Facebook.
Okay.
If we have that in the lower thirds, Mutali, Yo-Yo shows everybody the tattoo. If you want Yo-Yo to show the tattoo, you will be rooting for red.
For red.
For red.
And you got 2 chances.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if it lands on purple, this is the purple, right?
Yeah, that's the purple.
Okay. Belgium Kim, who does stand-up comedy, right?
Yeah.
Is that true, Belgium Kim?
Yeah, I guess it's true, Brad.
That is true. That's what you tell us. We've
Yeah.
never been invited to your stand-up comedy.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
But I'm told that you do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
She will,
Yeah.
the night of her next stand-up comedy,
Yeah.
invite the entire Brad squad down to the comedy club on Belgium Kim. On Belgium Kim to watch her. Brad and Yo-Yo will be in the audience to cheer her on at the comedy club.
I feel like it's plenty that I'll give you a time and
Okay.
date.
Now.
You can get your own 1 drink minimum.
Okay. If it goes on blue,
Yeah.
that's here.
Yeah.
I will play Truth or Dare.
Ooh.
I will play Truth or Dare.
I like that.
With who?
With the first 3 people to come up with a Truth or Dare in the comment section.
Nice.
Whoa.
Okay? It has to be R-rated or less. Don't ask for anything X-rated. Okay? We don't do X-rated stuff
No
here.
nudity past
No
Yo-Yo's
nudity,
shirtlessness.
but besides Yo-Yo's shirtlessness. But we will do the first 3
Yeah.
Truth or Dares. Brad will do it.
This isn't fair.
Okay,
Groundhog
finally,
Sam, Groundhog
Yeah.
Sam's
if
fast to keep his
finally,
face.
if it goes on white.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. If it goes on yellow,
Yeah.
my
Yes.
apologies.
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay.
Yeah.
We are going to give away 2 movie tickets.
Ooh.
Okay, 2 movie tickets
Can I
to
go?
1 Brad Squad person,
Okay.
man or female, male or female,
Male or
Okay.
female.
that
okay.
we agree has the funniest comment of the show.
Ah.
Okay. That's
Okay,
nice.
I like
That's
And-
nice. None
okay,
of us have to do
and
anything
white,
else.
and white.
Yeah. What's white?
White is the whammy.
You
don't want white.
You don't want
The only
white.
one who wants white is me.
Yeah,
Because
right.
what is
Okay?
that?
White means that I will not shave and do this show with a full beard for 1 week, and no one can comment about it.
Oh.
There will be no
people would
comments
hate it.
allowed. No comments allowed about my beard for 1 week.
Wow.
White
oh
is
my
the
God.
Okay,
That's
so
nice.
now that's very good. We like
That
that.
is
Let me go over here.
fancy.
Okay, so
Oh my God.
to reiterate,
Yeah. Yeah.
Brad Squad.
Lord have mercy.
Okay, white is the whammy. Brad does not shave for a week.
Yeah.
Red, Yo-Yo shows everyone the tattoo.
Yes, Jeff Bosey. No, red, please.
Purple,
Thank you.
purple is Kim invites Brad Squad and the Brad Show Live team to her next comic live performance.
Open mic. Yeah.
Okay. Blue is Brad will play Truth or Dare. I don't know how many Truth or Dares I'll do, but we'll decide at least 2.
You said you just
3.
said 3.
3. Okay, 3.
Right.
3
You don't get
Truth or Dares.
Yeah.
Okay, and then yellow will be the funniest comment of the day wins a pair of movie tickets to a movie at either a Lowe's or AMC movie
Right,
theater. We'll
right.
buy you and send to you wherever you are in the United States of America.
Yeah.
2 movie tickets. We'll see what state or area you live in.
Yeah.
We'll find the local movie theaters, and we will buy you tickets. And then we will invite you to come on and do a movie review for
Whoa.
Yvette. You must come
Oh.
on and do a movie review for 2 minutes
Oof.
with us.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
That's quite a prize
All
package.
right, so you get to actually come on the Brad Show Live. Now, do we want to spin the wheel now?
Yeah, get it over with.
Get it
I was
over
gonna
with.
say,
We have a lot
stop
of people.
torturing
We have a
us.
lot of people, and we are supposed to spin the wheel
Yeah.
twice.
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 Because
Okay.
Yo-Yo can argue his
No,
All
side
right,
properly.
again,
No
remember, white. Brad doesn't shave for a week.
Yeah.
No red.
Red, Yo-Yo shows everyone the tattoo.
Yeah.
Purple, Kim invites Brad Squad to open mic. Blue, Truth or Dare with Brad.
No red.
Yellow, funniest comment
No
of
red.
the day gets the movie theater. Do not spin it yet.
I'm not
No.
spinning it.
I am
I'm very
curious what people want to see.
No red.
So far, Yonathan Elias is yelling, no red, thanks you, Jeff Bosey. Tamika Nelson is going red with a lot of D's after it.
I'm sure she is.
Everybody wants to see.
No, everybody wants blue.
Everybody wants to see Yo-Yo.
Everyone wants blue.
Everybody wants to
Truth or
see
Dare.
Yo-Yo topless. And of
Yes.
course, Barbara Lord is like, get it over with. I'm getting nervous.
Yeah.
We're getting nervous, Barbara.
Look
You're
at you
getting
turning
nervous.
red.
You don't have to play Truth or Dare. You don't have to take your shirt off. We don't want to spin this wheel. What should we do? Maybe.
Jelly wants the movie tickets.
Who wants the movie
Jelly
tickets?
Shauna wants
Okay,
the...
do you want to do a test run? This is a test. This will not
Just
count.
a test run?
All right, this
I
is
feel
a
good
test.
about that. Okay.
A test. This does not count.
It's not real.
This is not. This is a test of the wheel.
Why do we need a
We have,
test?
yeah, because we have never done it before. Okay,
we have no idea
never
how it-
actually spun the wheel to completion. So we need.
God.
We've always spun the wheel and stopped it. So it's true, right?
It may take
so
forever.
Let's test the wheel
Okay.
and see if it works.
Okay.
Go. This is a test. And on the test.
It's coming up.
On the test,
My
had
heart
this
is
been
beating.
real,
It does work.
had this been real,
Oh no! Wait, I think that.
had this been real, somebody
you
would
would've
have
got a
won.
ticket.
Somebody would have won movie tickets.
I think we should have just left that as the first one.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. And Stacey Ann Hodges, what the heck?
Yeah,
a movie
Abby says
ticket
no test.
instead of a vacation?
Okay.
Come on.
You're only getting extra.
Come
You're
on.
getting free
You're
tickets to the
reaching.
movie.
Come on.
You're reaching.
Movie tickets are like $20 a pop
All right.
now,
So
man.
finally,
That is
Yeah.
like a vacation.
okay,
Right.
let a 2-hour vacation to a movie, Jimmy Bean says.
Yes.
Okay.
There
All
you
right,
go.
there you go. All right. So finally, I just want to reiterate this one last time.
Yeah, what the prizes
Okay.
are.
What the prizes are.
Okay.
White.
Yeah.
Brad doesn't shave.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this for real after this.
After this, we're going to
Yes.
do it for
okay.
real.
Yo-Yo shows everyone a tattoo. Red.
Yep.
Purple. Kim invites Brad Squad and the Brad Show Live team to her next open mic.
No purple.
Blue. Brad's gonna play Truth or Dare.
Yeah.
Yellow. The funniest comment of the day wins a pair of movie tickets.
Okay.
Alec
Are you
Hulkenberger-
ready?
Alec Hulkenberger asked if popcorn is included.
Popcorn will be included. We will send
we're sweet.
a small gift certificate for popcorn and a soda or a
We all want
Twizzler.
yellow.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
yes.
You're
Dang,
giving
wait.
them for sweet and
loving
salty?
that.
Sweet and salty, I'm giving them. All right. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Wait, before we do this,
Before we do this,
do you think anybody should share this?
I think,
Oh, yeah.
I think if they want to see this again, they should share.
Do you think if they want to see this again, they better share?
I'm not putting myself on the line for nothing.
All right.
Red.
All right, so before you do this, why don't you, Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, tell everybody how to share this. Tell their friends and family that we will all be embarrassing ourselves in about 3 minutes, but they first have to share.
Hopefully my mother isn't watching.
Hopefully Mom's not watching. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, so share
So
this.
share with everyone but
Right.
Yo-Yo's mom.
Yes.
Just hit the share button at the bottom. Share it on your timeline, your friend's timeline. Invite friends to see it. Tag them in the comments for them to come check it out. And again, do not share it to Yo-Yo's mom, or else he will not be able to take his shirt
That
off
is-
at the end of the show.
That is correct.
Barbara Lord.
And by the way,
Listen.
there are still 5 people watching the wrong
Groundhog
show.
Sam.
They're watching Groundhog Sam instead of us embarrass ourselves right now.
The buildup is unbelievable.
Okay, the buildup is quickly.
Okay.
White, Brad doesn't shave for a week. Red, Yo-Yo shows everyone the tattoo. Purple, Kim invites Brad Squad and Brad Show Live team
What?
to her next open mic. Blue, pay Truth or Dare with Brad. Yellow, funniest comment. Everyone's like, spin the wheel already, goddammit. We can't do it. Forget it. We won't spin the wheel. No, we'll do it.
But Thurl's like, spin it, I'm nervous.
Spin it. All right.
My heart is like really beating.
Okay.
All right.
This is so
You
much
ready?
pressure.
This is
Here we
it.
go.
This counts?
This counts.
This
No
is-
more test
Is this going to count, Yo-Yo? No
Yeah.
test runs.
The first one should have counted
No.
too.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
This counts.
This counts.
This is it. This
This
is
is
for
it.
Yo-Yo's not
You
even
guys,
looking.
No, I'm looking at the camera.
Yo-Yo's not looking. And it's red and
Yes.
purple.
No,
It's
blue.
blue.
Wait,
Red
Yes,
pick.
oh my
I
God.
thought it was blue for a second. Okay.
That was so nerve-wracking.
All right, so we are going to pick. We are going to pick what is the funniest comment of the day, and we are going to send 2 movie tickets.
Yep.
Yo-Yo, but you don't understand something.
Huh.
We have to do this 2 times. They shared it 500 times. Okay.
You
this
should
is
have
gonna go.
argued for the one
Okay.
spin.
I am going to spin it the second time.
Do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
For
which way
fairness.
did you spin it? You spun
I
it this
spun
way.
it in my
It
direction.
was
Yeah,
so
so I'm
weird,
gonna spin
like,
it in my direction
should
this
spin
time.
it
It stopped and then just kept on
Kept
going.
going.
Okay, so
yeah.
I'm gonna now spin it in my direction.
Yeah.
All right.
One last reiteration.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, can you win movie tickets twice? Is it going to be 2 funniest
There'll be,
Yeah,
comments?
those
if,
two
if
funny
it's
comments.
2,
It would
then
be
it'll be
2
2.
funniest
But
comments
this means
today.
that they have to be extra funny today.
Okay. All right. So white, Brad doesn't shave. Red, Yo-Yo showing the tattoo. Purple, Kim's inviting everyone to her
You guys are
comedy.
hilarious.
Blue, I thought I was going to be playing Truth or Dare. I was very
Yeah.
close to Brad
You
playing
were
Truth
so
or
That
Dare.
was super close.
Okay. And yellow is the funniest comment of the day wins a pair of movie tickets.
So you're purple?
Okay, so you ready? Here we go. Last time.
Okay,
This is
Brad.
because we are men and women of our word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We said if you shared it 500 times, we would spin the wheel. And I said we had a wheel, and we're going to do it.
My hands are shaking.
Okay. Here it is. Your hands are shaking. All right.
I want you to play
You
Truth or
ready?
Dare.
Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh,
that's a good
Good
spin.
That's
Oh,
a good
Let's
God.
see. All right.
Check back with us in half an hour. to
Yeah.
see.
Blue!
Blue!
I don't believe it! God damn it! God damn it!
You guys come up with the best dares.
right.
The best dares. He
All
has
right,
to do
so
them.
all right, so before we get into our immigration questions, okay, before we get into our
Mom, you can watch now.
Before we get into
Invite Yonathan.
all right, so we are going to play Truth or Dare,
Yeah.
Bradshaw style. I am going to invite everybody who's watching right now to ask me any question you want. I will answer it. And if it's too embarrassing for me to answer, then I will have to do the dare.
Yep.
The one rule, all right, 2 rules actually, okay? The one rule is that if it's X-rated, I won't answer it. I'll
Okay.
answer an R-rated, but I will not answer X-rated.
Okay.
I won't do anything X-rated.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the
Fair.
only 2 rules. Now, if I take the dare, I obviously can't do it at this moment. We will tape it tomorrow.
Yeah. And show it.
And we will show it tomorrow, the dares, if I
Okay.
choose not to. Okay. All right. So, you don't. Okay, so let me explain Cece Mitchell how Truth or Dare works, because she's already throwing out dares.
Yeah, she's got a dare for
You
you.
can't throw out a dare until you ask a question. So how it works is this. Everybody asks Brad a question. Okay? Belgium Kim will ask me that question.
Truth or dare.
Truth or dare.
Right.
I will say truth
Okay.
every time.
Why?
Okay?
That's not fun.
1 second. Okay, then Belgium Kim
Yeah.
will ask me the truth. If I choose not to answer that question, I must do the
The dare.
dare. Now,
Okay.
I am turning over my
Yeah.
iPad. This is where I look at people's comments.
Yeah.
Okay? So I will not be looking at what the truth or dare is. So the iPad is turned over. I honestly don't know what anyone is going to ask me.
Okay.
I am now going to ask Belgium Kim to accept truth and dares from everybody. Okay? I will always, because the way the game works, I will always ask the question first. And then if I choose not to answer it, then I will do their dare. But you can't tell me what the dare is. I'm not supposed to know what the dare
Right.
is. You
Correct.
understand?
Correct.
I only,
Right.
you will ask me the question.
Yeah.
Okay? The dare could be worse than the question, or maybe it's an easy question.
It's
I
an
don't
easy
know.
dare, right.
Okay? That's the way it is going to work. So I will not know what the dare
Oh,
is.
God, this
You
is
will
hilarious.
ask a truth, and you will ask the dare. I don't know it. And I have to answer. You are the luckiest guy in the
I'm
world, by
so
the way,
happy
because
right
because
now.
we
So
had we
happy.
had strip music ready for you. Okay, we had a da 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 da. I mean, we were ready for the whole strip here, and this guy's keeping his shirt on. And Belgium Kim,
Oh my
Belgium
God.
Kim
Oh my
is
God.
breathing a sigh of relief because she doesn't have to
Thank
embarrass
God.
herself in front of the whole Brad
Thank
squad
God.
and pay for all their tickets to show
My
up.
stand-up is so inappropriate.
Okay.
I was
So now,
scared.
do we have any truth or dares?
Okay.
Ooh.
Let's see. Okay, I got
First
our first
one.
one.
First one.
Are you going to be going public with your Canadian persuasion?
Yes.
And explain. You gotta go a real truth.
Who's
What-
asking that
Jeff
question?
Bosey.
How
wants
does
to
he know?
Apparently he knows. He picks up on our little inside jokes that we
Yes.
go.
Okay.
So what is this? What is the Canadian persuasion, and why? When are you going public? Tell us.
Okay. I'm going public right
Going
now.
public right now. Great. Yeah, on your show.
All right. So there is a female friend
Okay.
of the female persuasion who is in Canada, and she's actually in New York right now.
Oh.
And yes,
Whoa.
and we are dating, and her
Okay.
name is Tamara.
Oh,
And,
she has a name.
and there we are public. There we have
Oh,
it.
man.
All right.
Woo.
Next
Oh, my
truth.
goodness.
Did y'all see?
Next
I've
truth.
never heard him stutter so much.
I would have seen you fall down stripping over here. So, okay.
We have a truth from Marjorie Thompson.
Marjorie
Now,
Thompson.
again, remember, if Brad chooses not to answer the
Then
truth,
I have
he
to do
has
the
to
dare.
do another dare, and we have some great dares. We have some great dares. As a matter of fact, I may make you do one anyway. Marjorie
I
Thompson.
think you still should do one.
I agree.
For the people.
Truth or dare? Your
Truth.
Truth. Okay. Marjorie Thompson, tell us your most embarrassing moment
In my entire life.
in your whole entire life.
Well, I have a lot of embarrassing moments. I don't know what my most embarrassing moment would be.
Yeah, pick the one you're most embarrassed about out of all of those.
My most embarrassing moment.
Yeah.
So many. I have had so many
Are
embarrassing
you
moments
embarrassing
in my life.
frequently?
When I was in the school play in front of about 700 or 800 people.
Yeah.
In my school play, I was Detective Trotter in Agatha. Mousetrap by Agatha
Christie.
Christie,
Yeah.
correct. And it's a play, and I was the detective and also the killer. And I go on stage. I was Detective Trotter. I was 11th grade, and I go on stage, and I come out for my first line, and I froze.
Oh, that's
And
the worst.
I didn't know what my line was.
That is the worst.
And in front of 700 people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh,
And in front of
no,
700 people, yeah, I didn't talk for about 1 minute
Oh, my
until the
God.
director started whispering what my first line was. And then I started getting going, but I was so nervous for the rest of the show.
You were messing up.
I was messing up, and all my friends
Ooh.
made fun of me that I was the one-armed actor because I had one arm down on here the entire time because I was
Just like
grabbing my body like I was terrified, and I was, acting one-handed. That was probably be the most embarrassing thing. Okay, finally, I will have to take a dare. So.
And I got you right here,
Okay,
Brad.
so give me
Ooh,
truth or dare. All right, give me truth or dare quickly.
Okay.
So we doing a dare?
Truth or
This is a
dare?
dare?
Truth.
No.
Truth.
You have
I'm
to do
doing
Let
a
me know what
dare.
the truth is.
Okay. Marge Higgs says, what charity, if any, do you invest in?
Well, I don't invest in charities. You donate to
You
charities.
donate to charities.
Okay, what's the dare?
The dare is Karkush Burke wants you to twerk.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh.
get there. Get
Get the
there.
music.
Get there.
We got the music.
We got that Brad Show
I
music.
can't do it 'cause I'm cutting out of the screen.
It's all good.
All right,
It's all good.
I will twerk tomorrow. We'll figure out how to do it.
Oh, there'll be no figuring out. I know I have the
You have
image
the
in my
whole
head.
thing?
Oh, there.
All right, so
gonna be a
there
whole
it is,
music
ladies
video.
and gentlemen. We
Yes.
did it. Okay, we did it.
Nice.
We did it, and
That was fun.
Brad played Truth or Dare.
Yep.
And we still have to give movie tickets away to whoever has the funniest comment of the day.
Yep.
Get your movie tickets.
All right.
And your popcorn and your candy.
And I don't. Benoit Lisa said this is worse than the hanging chat.
I know. Alec Hoschenberger said this episode is educational reality TV, and I love it.
All right. So maybe we'll bring back the wheel again for another time. But we do. And thanks to everybody for playing, and that was a lot of fun.
That was fun.
We are going to be answering your immigration questions in a few minutes. And I do want to remind everybody to also please share. We don't have a game right now to share, but we will ask everybody to share. Let's see. Nobody shares when there's no game. Let's see if they share when there's a game.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Psychological experiment.
Why don't you go talk to them?
Okay, family. I'm going to let Yo-Yo take this one since I've already told you guys and shamed you into sharing today.
All right, all you guys have to do, please do this, please. Look under the video, the bottom right-hand side, and you'll see an arrow pointing to the right. All you have to do is click on that, share it to different people's pages, different groups. There are a lot of different international groups where people would need our help. You could also copy the link, send it in an inbox, send it in a text message, and of course, word of mouth is always the best way as well, too. So get the people on the show. Woo! Yeah.
Nice.
Woo! Yeah!
That was like
yeah!
All of that.
All right, so now, by the way, Mona has been on hold from the Philippines for 30 minutes already.
Oh my
She's
God.
like, what kind of craziness is going on?
I know.
Is this an immigration
show where we're supposed to be answering questions? Yes, it is. All right, so now we're going to go back to my professional Brad is now in the house. And this is the time when if you have questions, we have your answers in something called I've Got Your Answers. Get the answers. Well, with your answers.
It's like,
whatever we call it, something with answers and questions. All right, and then if you're shy like me and you can't twerk and you can't get on the phone and call us at 1-800-529-5465 to ask your immigration questions. You could always ask them both on our Facebook page at Bradshaw Live and on Twitter. We are on Twitter now. Belgium Kim is going to be talking to you on Twitter at Bradshaw Live on Twitter. And what we've decided to do is we're going to take any questions that we hear on Twitter first over the Bradshaw Live feed, just so we can get the Twitter thing going.
Right.
In addition to that, we want you to start following Instagram at Bradshaw Live. You get behind the scenes, some behind the scenes stuff. And of course, if you are watching us on law offices of Spar and Bernstein and want to get notification every time our Bradshaw Live show comes on, all you got to do is follow and like us on Bradshaw Live. And with that being said, we got Mona in Manila, Philippines. Mona, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, Mona.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm good. Yeah. I'm here now in America as a J1 visa for my internship program, which is only for 12 months.
Okay.
My question is it possible if I can get a working visa or a green card?
Well, you can't get a work visa. You can get a work visa. I mean, maybe you can change to. There's not going to be an H-1B because there's none available. Maybe there's some other sort of visa that you may be eligible for. I don't know. In terms of applying for a green card, people who used to come on J visas used to be able to overstay because they had a DS in their on their I-94, so they didn't have a 10-year bar to return. Trump has changed that recently. Now the 10-year bar goes into effect for people who have duration of status. So overstaying, getting sponsored in a job, which was the general process, is really not an option anymore. I don't have the option for you off the top of my head, but I would suggest is have a consultation with us. Okay, so hold on one second. Let's go to Brianna in Lansing, Michigan. Brianna. Brianna. Brianna? All right, so Brianna needs to listen. Let's go to O'Daniel in Brooklyn. O'Daniel.
Yes, my name is O'Daniel. I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I've been here.
I don't know what happened to O'Daniel. This is some show so far. Desiree in Lakeland, Florida.
Hi, how are you doing?
How are you?
Seeing better days.
Right.
What I was calling about was we put the case in. There was a mix-up on the affidavit report. We corrected it and sent it back in.
Right.
But now they have an administrative process. I don't know what, and they won't tell us why.
Is this the affidavit of support? Is this for an adjustment or an I-130? You're at the National Visa Center.
The I-130. We had made a mistake on the original one.
Okay. Are you filing for an adjustment? Is my question, or is this for an appointment at the U.S. Embassy?
It's for what, sir?
An appointment at the U.S. Embassy, or are you adjusting your status?
We did the appointment already. It was just we had to get a couple more documents sent in, and we sent them in. But I don't know what's going on. They got the last document in April.
Okay, so administrative processing means nobody's looked at it yet. That's what it means. All right, so hopefully somebody will look at it shortly. I mean, it's a good example that if you're not, and I'm not blaming you for it in any way, shape, or form, but if you don't have everything done 100% properly, this is what happens. Your case just goes in a black hole. So it's now April. You submitted everything properly back. So now that's 2 months ago. I give them at least 120 days, which is 4 months to review it. If at 120 days you haven't heard from them, give us a call and let us get involved.
Okay.
All right?
I thank you very
You're
much.
very welcome.
God bless you.
Thank you.
For all your work.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. So let's go to Kim in Brooklyn. Kim.
Hi. Okay.
Hi, how are you?
This is my question. Good afternoon. Yes. I have a problem because I received my 2-year green card, and I sent back in the waiver last day, and I haven't received anything as yet. So
You put in the 2-year green card and you haven't received anything. It's been more than 2 years.
no, I got the first 2 years, and then I send in back. They send me back to send back in the waiver, and I did my fingerprint, everything, but I'm still waiting.
How long has it been since you filed the I-751?
Since last year, July.
All right, so it's not even a full year yet.
Yes.
It's not a year because we're in June, so you're 11 months or something, right?
Okay, but then another problem is that
I didn't finish answering your question first.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So, so it's been about 11 months. You got to give them at least 18 to 20 months. That's what it's taking these days. Now, what's your second question?
The other part is that my husband leave me and he filed for divorce. Is that a problem getting my green card?
Yes, because you filed a joint application. So you have to notify the Immigration Service that you want to convert the case from a joint application to a waiver application, submit a copy of the divorce that started. You're going to ultimately have to complete the divorce and show your divorce is terminated. I mean, your marriage is terminated through the divorce, and you're going to have to prove that you and your spouse lived together for a period of time. You're going to need an attorney to help you with all of this.
Oh, but the only thing is that he's filed, but he did not serve me with any summons.
If he hasn't served you, then there's no divorce going on.
Okay, thank you very much.
So hold on. You need help. Hold on. Okay? Because then because if you're not divorced, you're never going to get a green card. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Mr. Alumba in Brentwood, Maryland.
Yes.
How are you?
Yes. Attorney, good afternoon. This is Mr. Columba of Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Now, attorney, I have a question about my approval notice of my wife's sister petition, the I-130.
Right.
Now, is it necessary for, it's almost, right now it's almost, the filing date is almost current because ours is December 26, 1995, and right now it's December 1st, 1995. So supposing
when
attorney,
you're filing for you are filing for your wife?
The I-130?
It's since 1995. You've been filing for your wife since 1995?
Yes, 1995, December 26. That's the priority date.
Are you sure 1995 if you're filing for your wife since 1995, you got a problem?
No, it's not my wife. My wife has a sister petition.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So it's you are married to somebody who's been waiting for their green card since 1995. Is that correct? Where are you calling me from? Where are you calling me from?
I'm here in Maryland.
You're in Maryland. How long have you been in the United States?
I've been here since 2005.
Okay. Where is your wife?
My wife is here. She's sleeping right now because she's sick. Now, the problem
Where is your wife? Is she in America?
Yes, she's in America.
Okay, so you need to file an adjustment application once your priority date is reached. They are right now up to March 22nd, 1995. What is your priority date in 1995?
December 26th.
Okay, so your problem is your priority date is not reached. If you're asking me about an affidavit of support, what you are doing is you are preparing an application for you to return to the Philippines to pick up your green card. You are doing everything 100% wrong. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. You will get an appointment in the Philippines. You will go home. You'll never come back here. You need to file an adjustment application once your priority date is reached in December 1995. As soon as you told me affidavit of support and you've done nothing else, I know you're already processing at the National Visa Center. You're screwing up your life. You know what you're doing? You're just following.
No.
Yes, you are. You are. You're getting. What?
Okay.
Am I wrong? Did you get a letter from the National Visa Center? Yes. Are you preparing an affidavit, trying to get an affidavit of support to them? Yes. Is that for you to go back to the Philippines? Yes. And what I'm telling you is you're doing it wrong. You need to file an adjustment. You're following the directions that you are receiving from the National Visa Center, and they will screw you up royally. You are eligible to pay a penalty fee of $1,000 and adjust your status here. That's what you need to do. Everything you're doing is wrong.
Okay.
Okay? So
and then we will not go back to the Philippines.
No,
we will not go back to the Philippines.
No, if you go back to the Philippines, you'll never come back here. You want to file an adjustment application
that's
here.
right.
So everything you're doing is wrong. I knew that the moment you said affidavit of support and you haven't done anything else. So that means I know you're at the National Visa Center. So what I want you to do right now is two things. I want you to listen to me carefully. Okay? You want to stop what you're doing. Do not correspond anymore with the National Visa Center, and you want to start preparing an adjustment application, which hopefully you will file towards the end of the year, early next year, pay a penalty fee, and adjust your status in America. I know you have been waiting for over 23 years for your green card. It's almost around the corner.
Yeah, but we have the problem right now, attorney, because my wife's sisters, they have some what they call, misunderstanding. So we are worried about the affidavit of support. Might be she will not sign the affidavit of support. That's our.
All right. So what you need to be smart.
Our concern.
Yes. So you need to be smart now. Okay. And you need to make up with your sister. She needs to sign it. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. You need
now,
one
what
signature
about
from her.
attorney? Because right now I'm working in here.
It doesn't matter.
Can we avail of
it doesn't
exemption?
matter. No. You will need an affidavit of support to be signed by the sister when you are ready to file the adjustment of status application. There's no way around it. So what you do is you send her flowers, you plead and beg, you make up. She's the one with the power. You got to make up with her.
What about the 10 years, the 40 quarters, attorney?
The what?
What is that? The 40 quarters exemption. Am I exempt?
No, because that is if you worked legally in America. I do not believe you have been working legally for the last 23 years. You probably overstayed on your visa. All your employment has been not legal, even though you may have been paying taxes.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, gotcha, attorney.
Okay.
So
All
can I make an appointment with you, attorney?
Yes, you can. Yes, hold on one second, okay? All right, let's go to Janet in Queens, New York. Janet.
Hello.
Hi, Janet.
Yes. Hi, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I'm good. My friend, he came here from about almost 30 years ago. But what happened is that he got married and they divorced and the filing was going through. He got his social, he's got his A number. But because he moved from the previous address, they sent everything there, and he did not get them. So now he's in a limbo, doesn't know what to do.
Well, what did they send to his previous address?
What is what?
What do you believe was sent to the previous address?
Well, letters were sent there from the immigration.
Letters saying what? Do you have any idea?
No, he don't know.
Okay, I don't know either. So the first step would be for him to come into our office, see what letters were sent by immigration. We do what's called the Freedom of Information Act request. We get a copy of all the records, and then we'll figure out how to fix it. But we could totally help him.
What happened? He had a copy of some things, and he took them to this council person, and he went back there for them, and they told him they couldn't find it, and he did not copy them.
I have no idea what the council person is or who this person is. What I'm telling you to do is bring what he has to us, and if there's a receipt notice,
he has a little white paper.
Yeah, hold on.
He has a little white paper.
Okay, so hold on. Let him come in, and we'll figure out his life. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right, let's go to Simone in Brooklyn, New York. Simone.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I
have a question. See, I'm married and I've got my 2-year green card, but it expired, and I went and I got the extension. So my question to you is can I go ahead and do the citizenship, or do I have to wait?
You have not gotten approved yet, have you?
No, I'm like waiting on the 10 years.
You and your spouse are together still?
Yes.
You have children?
No.
All right. I mean, you could file if you've been pending, if you've had your conditional green card for more than 3 years, you absolutely could file the citizenship. I think in this day and age, I used to tell people years ago, yes, file for your citizenship. I think now in this day and age, it's so difficult with immigration that you should wait on the approval of the I-751 and then do your citizenship. But if you're anxious to do it, you can do it now if you want to.
Okay.
But my preference would be that do it.
Wait.
Wait, yeah. Unless there's some emergency that you need to be a citizen. All right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Brianna in Lansing, Michigan. Brianna.
Yes.
How are you, Brianna?
Good. How are you?
Good. You're up by Michigan State.
Yes, I'm in Michigan.
Yes. What can we do to help you?
Yes, yes. So I am a TPS. I am a TPS holder. So my mom, she's a U.S. citizen. So my mom wants to apply for me and my son. So I want to know. I don't know if I want to have. Maybe give me some advice. Maybe I can hire you. You can fill the application for me. I don't know if my mom can apply for me or my son.
Yeah, she can apply for you, and your son would be included if your son's under 21. You know, you're just going to wait I assume you're over 21 years old. You're going to wait a very long time. Whether your mom's a citizen or resident.
It's gonna be 20 on September 11.
All right, so he's gonna ultimately fall off the case. So it's just gonna be you.
Okay.
And it's gonna be about 6-7 years, and maybe there's other options for you. So hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
Hold on. You know, if you have your mom here, you can do a provisional waiver and do a job sponsorship. It would be a lot faster than mom sponsoring. What are you doing there?
She's an Instagram story.
An Instagram story.
Giving the people what they want, Brad.
Give them what they want.
Hot BTS on Instagram.
All right, Carlene in Brooklyn. Carlene.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What's going on?
So my son is a recipient of the DACA, and I'm a citizen. How can I help him?
How did you get your green card?
Through marriage.
And where's your where's your husband? Who you got the green card through?
I have my citizenship.
How old is your son?
28.
Okay. Where is the husband that you got the green card through?
I got divorced.
You got divorced. Well, you can file for him, but it's going to be 7-8 years because he's over age already.
7 to 8 years.
Yeah, but maybe he can do a
so
job.
That means he doesn't have to go back?
No, of course he would have to go back. Yes, he would have to do a provisional waiver. Just because he has DACA doesn't mean that. Maybe he can do a job sponsorship would be faster. Once he's over.
Okay, so I could come in to you and
when did you get your green card?
When did I get my citizenship?
When did you get your green card?
Green card. 2014.
2014, about 5 years ago. Yeah, come in and let's see what other options. I mean, I always think job sponsorship's faster than family sponsorship. Hold on. All right?
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Mark in Brooklyn. Mark. We don't hear Mark. Let's go to Santel in Newark, New Jersey. Santel.
Hi, Brad. How are you? Hi, I want to ask a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So my husband just filed for my green card, but I want to file abuse. What do you call it? VAWA or something like that?
VAWA case.
Right. So my question, do you think I should wait till I get my work permit before I file the abuse, or should I do it now?
Do it now.
And next question, I have like evidence of abuse, but I don't have much evidence of a real marriage. Like we don't have bills, accounts,
What is the evidence of the
like
abuse?
that.
What's the evidence of the abuse?
I have like rape kit. I go to counseling and stuff like that.
All right. So I would say you know that you were raped by your ex-husband.
By my husband, yeah.
But and there's evidence of that. That would lead somebody to believe that you were in the same household, that this was not a business marriage. All right.
So I don't have to worry about all the bills and the bank account and stuff like that.
I mean, you have to worry about it, but I wouldn't overly worry about it because you have a crime that was committed against you that wouldn't normally be committed by someone that you're in a business marriage with. Okay.
Right.
So hold on 1 second. We can help you. All right. Let's see. We spoke to Carlene in Brooklyn. Carlene in Brooklyn.
Yeah, you spoke to me already.
I spoke with you already. All right, and we spoke to Mark in Brooklyn. We tried. We want to try Mark again now? Mark in Brooklyn, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. What's going on?
Good afternoon. Yes, I just recently got married. I'm 18 years old, and I just recently got married. And my wife is in the U.S. She overstayed her time that she was allotted. And I want to know what the procedure is because I do not currently have the 3 years tax form. That's what is required.
Right.
So I wanted to know if I can get
you're a young kid.
Yes.
All right. So you can file as long as you can prove it's a real marriage. If you don't have the 3 years taxes, you could always get an affidavit of support from a second person. So don't worry about it. Do you have someone to give an affidavit of support for you? Your wife?
Yes, I do.
Okay, then I wouldn't worry about it. As long as you live together, that's what's most important, and we can certainly help you.
Okay. Yes.
All right,
Yes. We have a child together.
Oh, okay. You'll have no problem. Hold on 1 second, okay? All right. So with that being said, talking about children together. Do you know what's going on at the border?
Yes, what we've been talking about?
What we've been talking about at the border, right?
Yeah, which is horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see ProPublica? They obtained an audio. So what's going on at the border? All right. So to give everybody a little background, what's going on at the border, because it's all over the news.
Yes.
But people don't understand why legally this is all happening. Okay.
Why
and
it's allowed,
there's two things at play here. One, there is the Constitution of the United States, and two, there is criminal penalties under federal law. So let's start with criminal penalties. I have always said, since the day my show started back in 1999 on the radio, it is not a crime to be out of status in America. You could be in the United States out of status. It is not a crime. The fact of being an illegal alien in America is not criminal. It is a civil offense in which they will deport you.
Right.
There is on the books that has never, ever, ever been enforced a federal misdemeanor, which is the smallest crime you can commit in the federal penal law, which is, you can get, life sentences. A federal misdemeanor, the maximum sentence is 6 months in jail. It's like stealing, I don't know, a stick of gum from the newspaper stand. I mean, that's how minor it is.
Right.
Okay? It has never been enforced. The act of entering the United States without inspection, not coming on a passport and overstaying your time, the act of entering the United States without inspection is a federal misdemeanor that has never, ever been, that's been on the books, but nobody's ever been charged ever in the history of America.
Okay.
Until last month.
Wow.
Okay. So now, last month, Donald Trump, Jeff Sessions, they decided we are going to charge people that we catch literally running across the border as a criminal. And we are going to charge them with a federal misdemeanor, which carries a maximum of 6 months in jail, which is, ask any criminal defense lawyer, any penal law where the maximum sentence is 6 months in jail is literally like is so small. It's like the equivalent of stealing gum from the newspaper stand.
Right.
Okay. So now they catch somebody running across the border with children. They're not charging the children with a crime, but they're charging their parents with a crime. And they are taking the parents and putting them in criminal jail. And then they are detaining the children in what they consider detention camp, which is basically another jail. And separating the parents from the children. The parents are being charged criminally. The children sit in a detention camp. Now, because they were apprehended at the border, the Constitution does not apply.
Wow.
So they don't have many constitutional rights. So we have two things.
Oh my God.
You have two things at play here. One is the fact that they are now charging the act of entering the United States, being caught entering the United States, as a crime. So I don't want anyone to freak out. If you are already in the United States and you have overstayed, you're illegal, you're out of status, you're walking around the streets of New York or Philadelphia, nobody has caught you in the act of running across the border. You can't be charged criminally for that. You can't be charged criminally for just being here out of status.
Okay.
You could only be charged criminally being caught in the act of running across the border. It's also a crime to be found in America after you were previously ordered deported. That's another crime. Okay? But that's not what's happening here. So the parents, families are coming across the border, they're being caught, they're being separated. And now we have these children in these detention camps.
Wow.
And this is a crisis that is being created by Donald Trump. Okay? It is disgusting. It is beyond repulsive. It's embarrassing to be an American when you see and hear these things.
Absolutely.
So, ProPublica, they obtained an audio from inside the U.S. Customs and Border Protection facility in which children can be heard wailing.
Wow.
As an agent jokes in Spanish, we have an orchestra here.
Wow.
Oh my God.
The recording adds real-life sounds of suffering to the contentious zero-tolerance policy debate. It was recorded last week inside a U.S. Customs and Border Protection detention facility, and the person who made the recording asked not to be identified for fear of retaliation. The person who made the recording estimated that all of the children that you're going to hear on this recording are between the ages of 4 and 10 years old. Now, more than 2,300 children have been separated from their parents since April. Both Democratic and Republicans have spoken out against this. Former First Lady George Bush's wife spoke out against it.
Oh, right.
Bushes have all spoken out against it.
Right.
Clintons have spoken out against it. Every living president that's still alive has spoken out against it.
Wow.
Obama.
Right.
Okay, there's not a former president who's alive who has not spoken out against this. Many Republicans, even Melania Trump has spoken out against it, but blame the Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's nobody who says this is good.
Right.
Okay, but Melania is blaming the Democrats. The Democrats don't run the Department of Homeland Security.
No.
It's run by Donald Trump.
Right.
And Jeff Sessions. Okay, and what they're doing is they're creating this crisis to create a humanitarian crisis and using these children as a bargaining chip so Donald Trump can build his wall that the Mexicans were supposed to pay for.
Right.
That now the children of Central America are paying for in their own tears.
Right.
For Donald Trump's political gain.
Right.
Even Attorney Jeff Sessions says the Bible says he's allowed to do it. Remember we talked about
We did
that?
talk about that.
So let's listen. It's very difficult to listen to this, so I'm giving people fair warning. If you want to lower your volume, it is extraordinarily difficult to listen to the desperate sobbing of what is estimated to be 10 Central American children separated from their parents last week by immigration authorities at the border. It's excruciating to listen to. I listened to it earlier today. Many of them are crying so hard they can barely breathe. They scream, "Mommy, Papa," over and over again, as those are only the words that they may even know how to speak in English. And then there's the baritone voice of a Border Patrol agent who's joking, "Well, we have an orchestra here. Who is the conductor?" The child who stood out the most was Alison Jimena Valencia Madrid. She is absolutely distraught. She's a 6-year-old girl from El Salvador. She's pleading repeatedly for someone to call her aunt. When she came to the border, she memorized her aunt's telephone number just in case this situation would happen. And it did. And she's just begging on her knees. You'll hear it in a second. Just one call. Please, somebody listen to me.
Wow.
And she said she's memorized the phone number and at one point even rattles it off to the Border Patrol agent. "My mommy says that I'll go with my aunt," she's crying and wailing, "and that she'll come to pick me up there as quickly as possible." So nobody from Border Patrol called the aunt. But this got out, and then concerned U.S. citizens called the aunt because you can hear the telephone number.
Oh, wow.
And this is now and then the aunt found out about this.
Wow.
So let's hear this, and I'm telling you in advance, it is very heart-wrenching. I'm giving you fair warning. You may want to lower this. This is a true recording of what happened at the detention center. This is one of 2,300 children. All have very similar stories. Let's listen.
Con mi tía por lo menos para que después llegue mi mami. ¿Me puedes abrir ahí me cerró la puerta esa? Que me venga a traer mi tía para llevarme a la casa.
Ella llama a tu tía si tú tienes número y habla con tu tía.
Tengo el número de ella.
Pues ahorita ella te ayuda para que hable. Cálmate nada más.
No, papá.
Voy por aquí, niña.
Papá.
Cuando saquen la comida.
Voy a llamar a mi tía para que después de comer me venga a recoger.
Cuando agarren la comida yo voy a venir para que le...
Ay, no, papá. Tengo el número yo de memoria, 34, 34. Voy a llamar al menos a mi tía para que me venga a recoger. Ay, no, papá. Y después para que llegue mi mami lo más pronto posible. Y mi mami después que me venga a traer mi tía va a venir lo más pronto posible para irme con ella.
So concerned U.S. citizens called the aunt, and unfortunately, this little girl is still in jail because the aunt has filed for political asylum. She has not been approved yet.
Wow.
And she's scared to go to the border to go pick up her niece because for fear that she will herself be deported with her own child.
Wow.
So it turns out that the parents and the sister worked for a very long time. I don't know the length of time, but worked a very, very long time to scrape together $7,000 that they paid a smuggler to take them from El Salvador through Guatemala, Mexico, and across the border to the United States. It's a lot of money to put together for poor people from El Salvador.
Yeah.
Right.
They paid the smuggler. They got caught. Now the parents are being charged criminally.
Wow.
And this child is distraught in this detention center. I read recently, today, in the New York Times, an article that they were interviewing psychologists and psychiatrists. And they were saying that there is study after study after study that children who are in detention centers, children who are separated from their parents by force in these situations all over the world, they've studied this, have traumatic psychological damage for their entire life.
Yeah.
Yep.
This child will suffer, even if she's released tomorrow to her parents, for the rest of her life for Donald Trump's wall. Now, the aunt said, I know she's not an American citizen, of the niece, the child who was crying.
Right.
But she's a human being. She's a child. How in the world can they treat her this way? Now, Donald Trump, he said it's the Democrats that are to blame. Because they're the ones that are forcing me to separate parents from their children because, and I'm quoting Donald Trump, the Democrats want illegal immigrants to infest our country.
Infest, like their roaches.
Infest our country. That how more dehumanizing can you call a minority or an immigrant, but basically to allege infest sounds like it's the vermin. Rats. Cockroaches.
Oh, that's, I really can't wrap my brain around the fact that that's happening in this country. It feels incredibly un-American, even though it is happening.
And that is what's happening with immigration. So we all pray for the children's well-being, for the parents' well-being. We pray that this stops immediately.
Right.
And hopefully, our political system works. It's not working right now, but hopefully our political system works in November, and hopefully these children can survive until then.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot you can do. There's not a lot you can do other than protest and raise what's going on.
Yeah, and it is a little bit heartwarming to see how much protest there has been and how active people are being in protesting such an atrocity. We saw the Father's Day and we talked about that yesterday, and so it's unfortunate that it has to be done.
But in all reality, what will protest do? Like, I don't feel like it's going to change.
No, Martin Luther King changed the world with protest.
Yeah,
it's not, but protest though. One protest by one person can turn into a second protest by two people tomorrow, can turn into a third protest by three people the next day, and eventually can turn into a movement. But one protest on one day never changed the world, but a lot of people protesting every day has. And there's plenty of historical data. But unfortunately, protests take time. Civil rights and civil disobedience and protests for your civil rights take time. It doesn't happen overnight, and that's what's sad. And that is what is sad.
Yeah.
I really hope people go out and vote in November.
Yes, I hope so.
Really
too.
hope so.
I pray.
Yep.
I pray. All right. So with that, we're going to try to help as many people as we can in something we call social media check-in. Let's see. All right. So what do we have in social media check-in?
All right. Here, you can go.
Francesca Goldstein wants to know, how fast can my 5-year-old daughter and mom join me? We didn't get married prior to my transition to the United States.
My 5-year-old daughter and my mom?
So here's what I'm assuming happened. I'm going to use my decoder.
How is she marrying his mom?
No, she is marrying what I'm assuming is a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, and she's wondering, now that she's getting married to this man, how fast could she turn around and have her 5-year-old daughter and her mom join her?
Well, she has to be a citizen. So assuming she's a citizen, or she's marrying a citizen. Is that basically?
She's marrying a citizen.
Okay, so mom can't come. Your husband can't file for mom. Only you can file for mom once you become a citizen. So mom's off the table for right now. As far as your 5-year-old's concerned, your husband can file for your 5-year-old. It'll take about a year or so to get the child up to the United States.
All right, so I have Joanne Gold. Can a resident that has lived in the U.S. since they were 13 and has since been deported back 8 years ago refile to become a U.S. citizen?
Why were they deported?
Just says that they were deported 8 years ago. So I do know, like, if it has
if
like
it was
drug
deported for
charges
drugs, you can't.
Right.
I got to know what the deportation was for, and then I can help better.
Karen says, I'm a U.S. citizen and my mother lives in the Caribbean. She's a valid U.S. visitor's visa holder. How could I get her to stay and live with me in the United States?
But she's a citizen, the daughter?
So daughter's a citizen, yeah.
Okay, so you have two choices. Mom can come up on a visit for the purposes of visiting, wait 90 days. You can put in an adjustment for her, or you can just file an I-130 visa petition for her now, and she'll come up to the United States with a green card in about 14 months.
All right, Ken asks, hello, can you help a citizen filing for their parent and sibling to get their green card in their country?
Can you help a U.S. citizen file for their parent and sibling? The parent, yes. The sibling's going to wait a very long time. Better off if it's a sibling who's under 21, you file for the parent comes up, and then that parent files for the sibling. It'll be faster.
We've got another question from Kendra, who says, my stepson is has been under DACA before. What's the best way to now adjust his status? Except petition from his parent, is there any chance that he could be sponsored by a company?
Yes.
He's 25 years old.
Absolutely can get sponsored by a company. It's actually faster.
All right, Kim asks, can somebody call for information? I had someone needs a student visa, but he is a TPS. Can he change that for a student visa?
You can change your status from TPS to a student visa without going home and coming back. And you're going to have a trouble if you go home to get the student visa because you may have a non-immigrant intent problem. But what I would suggest you do if you have TPS is to make an appointment and let's figure out what other options you may have.
Toya Lee says, my question is, if someone hasn't filed taxes for the last 3 years, could he still file for his wife?
Yes, but what if you worked and didn't file taxes, they're not going to give the wife a green card. If you're disabled and you didn't file taxes or you haven't worked, then yeah, you can file, but you're going to need an affidavit of support from a second person.
All right, Abby Forbes Courtney asks, I have a friend that's a babysitter. Her boss filed for her in March 2008. She got up to the I-140, but still is waiting. Is there any hope for her? If so, how long would this take? And if nothing can be done with that case, is there any hope for another avenue somehow to get her?
Well, she got sponsored in a job. And I guess she got sponsored after April 30th, 2001, and I guess she's not 245I and she's overstayed her time. So unless she has parents or a spouse here in the United States that's legal, she can't do a provisional waiver to go home and come back. So the answer to your question is, unless you have a parent or a spouse who's legal, resident or citizen, you have zero hope in getting through on that I-140. We would have to come up with another option.
We've got a question from Yvette who said, I'm now 42 living here in the U.S. My mother is a citizen and she wants to file for me. About how long do you think that'll take?
About 7 years.
Oh.
All right. Gina Lynn says, hi, Brad. So she asked the question yesterday and she didn't really get a clear answer. She didn't really understand. So it was about the B1, B2, used the visa to deliver in the USA and now applying for an EB3. Unskilled worker to one of the recruitment agencies here in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I just want to ask if there are restrictions, problems, or obstacles that I might be encountering during the application for EB3 unskilled worker. And she said, by the way, I never overstayed in the B1, B2 visa.
Well, so basically, she's in Dubai and she's going to get sponsored prospectively from Dubai, waiting for her green card to come to the United States. Okay. And she has come here previously on a visitor's visa. At the embassy, they're going to want it. It's going to take 3 to 4 years. At the embassy, they're going to want to know when you visited the United States, did you work illegally? And then why are these people waiting 3 to 4 years to hire you? Why couldn't they find an American? They just want to make sure that this is a real bona fide job.
And her children has been living outside of the USA since birth as well as her.
Okay, they would all be included.
Okay.
Alicia wants to know if someone has a pending case and gets a TR6 stamp, can that person travel out of the country?
I don't know what a TR6 stamp is.
I have never in my life heard about it. That's why I said it that way.
I don't know what a TR6 is. An IR6.
Ah, it could be IR6.
IR6 is the immediate relative. Then yes, you have a temporary stamp on your passport. You can travel. That's a temporary green card.
All right. So I have one from Marky Bent. My PD is February, so PD, that's priority date. All right, is February 21st, so it was February 21st, 2017. How long more to wait for an interview in Miami, Florida? This is for a green card.
February 2017, and you filed an adjustment, and you're waiting now 1.5 years, you should call me. You got a problem. Something's wrong.
How about if they met 2018, just to make sure?
Then you have another 6 months.
All right. just in case. You know.
Just in case. That was sweet of you.
Yeah.
We've got one last question from Lamoya, who said, other than pictures, what else do you need to prove to the immigration that your marriage is bona fide?
You got to prove it's a real marriage. How do you... You got to prove it's a real marriage. So how do you prove it's a real marriage? That you have an economic relationship and that you physically live together. So pictures really just kind of prove that you're physically together. Okay, but you also have to show an economic relationship, that you share in both the income that's made by the marriage, the husband and wife share that, and you share in the debts of the marriage. So how do you show an economic relationship? Tax returns, bank statements, joint bills, that sort of thing.
All right.
Perfect. That's all we got right now.
All right, so let's go to Reed in Cape Coral, Florida. Reed.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you, Reed?
Good, good. Just a quick question.
Yes.
I 2 years ago I filed I-360 VAWA with the I-45 to adjust.
Right.
And I was in removal proceedings. So recently the VAWA got approved, and I digged around. They said I need to file a motion to terminate the proceedings in order to adjust.
Correct.
Now, I mean, the motion, sounded very expensive as far as what I know. Is it okay to adjust in court, or is it a harder process than the motion?
You dug around. Basically, you spoke to a lawyer, and the lawyer gave you a legal fee, and you said, "Wow, that's very expensive." But guess what? You're in deportation, and you don't want to f around in deportation. Okay, you're going to try to save $500, $1,000, $1,500, save $3,000. Is that worth your life here in America? Save $5,000. Wouldn't you love to spend a couple $1,000s and say you're going to get a green card and get to live here for the rest of your life? Isn't that worth it? Yeah. I wouldn't screw around with that. Hold on. Let's go to Melba in Chicago, Illinois. Melba.
Hello.
How are you?
This is Melba. What if the spouse died while case is pending? I filed the EOIR 29, but my husband died. What will happen to me?
Well, you got to file a widow petition then, and you got to do it within 2 years of the death. So when did he die?
This March 30.
Oh, okay, so recently. My condolences, but you have about another year and change to file a widow petition, and we can certainly help you. So hold on 1 second, okay? All right?
Okay.
And what you got to do is prove it was a real marriage, and you'll get a green card. So hold on. All right, so with that said, okay, this is a very cool segment, by the way.
Okay.
What you got?
All right. I spoke to a woman by the name of Yvette Modestin.
Okay.
Now, she was named one of the top 100 most influential African diaspora leaders and has been profiled by both the Boston Globe as the uniter for her work in bringing the Latin American and African American community together.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Now, she joined me earlier this week, and we pre-taped this, to discuss how her immigration from Panama to America influenced her career and life work. And I think she was a pretty incredible speaker.
Awesome.
She was really an amazing speaker, and I think everybody's going to I loved her.
Oh,
so
nice.
I think everyone's going to love her. Let's watch. When Yvette Modestin moved from her home country of Panama to Boston, Massachusetts in the 1990s, she felt very isolated and alone as she realized that Americans were very unfamiliar with the Afro-Panamanian community. Yvette is an artist. She's a licensed mental health clinician, a wellness facilitator, a community organizer and educator, and she turned her own feelings of otherness around by creating Encuentro Diaspora Afro, I hope I pronounced that properly, an organization that provides a safe space for everyone and educates people on the history of African descent around the world. So today we're going to be joined by Yvette Modestin. Yvette, thank you very much for joining me here on the Brad Show Live. How are you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you? Thank you for inviting me.
And thank you. I understand this is the first interview you're doing with your new locks. Is that right? That's what you sold us? Yes.
11 months in.
What was it before? What'd you have before?
The fro.
Oh, you had the big afro, yeah?
And everything.
Okay. So what made you change?
You know, this journey takes you into a deeper self.
Right.
And your deeper self is also how you define beauty and how hair is defined. And for me, the natural hair was one thing, and the fro was really important. But the fro was also still carrying these very sort of standards of beauty, that it had to be big and it had to be shaped and it had to be this and it had to be that. And I just woke up 11 months ago and said, I'm ready to do locks, because I felt like I wanted to really go deeper into my natural self.
Right. That's really cool. That you're a deep person. You're a very deep person.
My visual goes with my mindset is to how I feel comfortable in my wardrobe, but also to send the message that being African in your clothing can also be attractive, can be professional, and can be comfortable.
I think that's pretty cool. I like that. Tell me about growing up in Panama. What was that like?
I grew up extremely aware of who I was, what I came from, family values, principles, a very close-knit, empowered Black community of Caribbean descent. So I was surrounded by love. I could ask the question. I was always a curious child.
Right.
I wanted to ask the question, without realizing that I was already sort of curious enough to go into spaces and challenging spaces. As the picture you're showing now, I became one of the first Black cheerleaders when our schools were desegregated. So I was always thinking outside of the box, I would say.
So now, Cologne, Panama, when you mean by desegregated, it was not a Black community? Was it a white community? Was it more of a mixed community? What were we looking at in terms of Cologne, Panama? You describe yourself as I think I just heard, as an African Caribbean descent, but you grew up in Panama. Tell us a little bit about that, and tell us about what the community was like there, and what happened in terms of desegregation.
So Cologne is the second largest province of Panama, and it's really centralized, one of the largest Black communities. When I mean desegregated, is that in the construction of the canal, when the Americans took over, the territory that surrounded the canal was called the Canal Zone.
Right.
And it had imposed American laws, which meant imposed Jim Crow laws. So I grew up in Jim Crow laws, where my Black Caribbean community, although in this American territory, was segregated from the white community.
Wow, I don't think a lot of people even realize that. I never knew that. I'm just learning that now for the first time in my life, and I think I'm a pretty educated man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I grew up in this American territory that had its own police, its own hospitals, its own fire department, or its own schools. But within that, the Black community was separated from the white community. So my community in Cologne was called Rainbow City. On the Atlantic side of the country, it was it was Pedro Miguel, it was Paraíso, it was Gamboa, that were the Black communities. When you keep in mind desegregation here, Brown versus the Board of Education, late 50s, they didn't desegregate the schools in Panama till late 70s.
Really?
Yes.
That's shocking. That is absolutely shocking.
And to add a little more, oomph to that, is that everything in that territory was American laws.
But they didn't Carter give back the Panama Canal Zone?
And the official
that's only when it became desegregated at that point?
Yeah, fully desegregated.
Wow.
Then that's when the communities became fully desegregated. No American territories anymore. Was 2000.
And you were still in school at that time.
Yes, and keep in mind that during the territory imposed time of the U.S., it wasn't until 1964 that Panamanian students climbed a pole, because until then, the U.S. would not fly the Panamanian flag next to the U.S. flag in Panama.
Wow. So now, what was segregation like? Was it like it was in the United States? Was it worse? Was it more like, a little cooler, like you were able to talk to a white person and not get arrested? Like, what was it like?
I didn't see white people until I went to work with my parents. We didn't see them because we also had our own commissary. We also had our own school. We also had the police in our own neighborhood. So we didn't integrate with them.
So it was real. It was real separation. You didn't even live in the same. It wasn't even like you're living in the same town and have two different grocery stores and two different schools. You were in two different towns and like you almost like fenced off in a way, I guess.
Yes, and the community, when they desegregated the community, and my family was one of the first communities to move into Margarita, is when I realized that Margarita was only like 5 minutes away from Rainbow City, and we never knew.
You didn't even know it existed.
We didn't even pay attention to it.
So when you met the first white person, how old were you?
Like a friend, white friend. Yeah. 8, 9 years old.
What was it like having a white friend? Did you realize did you notice that there was a difference between the two of you, or you kind of just like,
Absolutely.
we're both kind of like cute little girls and we're just going to do our thing?
No. We realized it right away. I remember when we moved into our first house in the white community, and one of our white neighbors came, and her curiosity about how we lived. And I remember my mom was still alive at the time, and her opening the door and having her look in the house because she was so curious about how we lived.
Right.
So there were folks that really accepted us, and then there were folks that were not happy that we were moving in.
So now you made it from Panama to the United States when? When did you come to the United States?
In early 90s.
In early 90s. And did you come with your family? Did you come alone? Why did you come?
No. I only came with the intent to study. I came here for college. And it wasn't planned to I went back and forth, but I'm here. But the intent was to come to school, because when you grow up in this American territory, we integrated, I basically went to an American high school in Panama. So it was, you get to apply to school as such. I didn't have to do English as a second language or anything. Actually, my school was a DODDS school.
Mm-hmm. So you yourself have a lot of different backgrounds. You're Panamanian, you're Latino, you're African, you're Caribbean, Afrocentric. I mean, there's a lot. You were educated in an American school and in a mixed racial school. So when you came here, how did all of these different groups treat you? Where did you fit in?
I didn't.
You didn't fit in?
I didn't. They didn't know what to do with me. My experience in the Latino community was, I'm not Latina because I'm Black. And then in the African American community, I wasn't Black enough because I spoke Spanish. So all of my identities that I honored and owned were put into question, because here in the U.S., you either have to fit into the white pocket or the Black pocket, and Latinos are identified as brown, but align themselves more towards whiteness than they do Blackness, unless they walk around where you're visibly Black.
Right.
And we have no choice.
Right, I understand. So how did that make you feel? Did it make you feel, I guess, determined, frustrated, depressed, unsure? What was your feelings like, not knowing what group would accept you or you would belong to?
For me, it was the first time feeling absolutely invisible. I grew up where I was very visible, very loved, very cared for, very embraced, and then to come at the age where you're still sort of developing, but you are somewhat almost in your identity, it created a level of depression, a level of confusion, standards of beauty here. I was a tennis player in college, and you had to look a certain way as an athlete. Your hair had to be, it was just everything that I knew that my parents raised me to say, this is you, proud of it, was put into question.
Now, I read in the notes that this kind of put you into a bit of a depression. You had a eating disorder for some period of time, and you were also very frustrated over how they define beauty here in the United States versus how you define beauty from your hometown in Panama. If you want to talk a little bit about all of that.
I know it was very deep for me because here, I was never some tiny person, but I was never heavy. And then all of a sudden, if you're not a size 4 or 8, you were seen as big. And I just didn't understand that. So I found myself like questioning what I ate and how I ate and what I ate or not eating at all, um, at one point, and just really not feeling, for someone who grew up, you know, Panama, black cheerleader, prom queen, homecoming court, track
Right.
star, all of
You
that.
you you you
None of
you
that.
you were the star and the princess of your town, right?
Yes,
Right.
and none of that.
None of that mattered when you got here.
None of it.
Yeah.
None of it.
So how did you get yourself out of this? What did you do?
Started really challenging the spaces. Started reading, Malcolm X, Assata Shakur, MLK, going really deeper into Pan-Africanism, history, and honoring, you know what? This is who I am, and I'm not gonna let anybody take that away from me. And I'm gonna put you in the position to see me by me saying I'm a black Latina.
This is my identity. This is me. This is my identity. I don't have to fit into anything. I don't have to fit into your group or this group or that group. This is me, and accept me for who I am. And I guess that's self-empowering in a way.
Oh yes, it totally took me to a whole nother level, and it then put me in the positions to look at Latinos, however shade they are, to say, you know what, you're still of African descent, and to look at African Americans and say, you know what, we have a common experience. We were dropped off everywhere. Some of us were dropped off where English was the first language and where Spanish was the first language, but we were dropped off everywhere.
You were dropped off all of North America, the Caribbean, parts of South America, Central America.
Absolutely. And one of the things that my mentor, Mr. Claral Richards, who's the man behind Black History Day in Panama, always said was that when our ancestors were put on that ship, they weren't put in family components. And when they took us off those ships, they didn't take us off in family components. Right. So if you understand that concept, your love for all people of African descent should be constant, because you could be standing before someone that is your family.
You're 100% right. So now you started this organization, and I'm butchering the name. So if I butcher it, my apologies. Okay, and Encontro Diaspora Afro. It's just Encontro Afro. Is that? So it's Encontro Diaspora Afro. Tell us what this organization is. Why did you develop it? How did you come with the inspiration to develop it? I kind of get the idea of how you got the inspiration, but why don't you expound on it a little bit for us?
I mean, I wanted to create a space for people like myself to come and talk about the complexity of this identity that's rooted in an African identity, but plays itself out differently in different spaces. And that we could talk about it. We could talk about colorism within our community. We can talk about the internal racism within our community. Black Latinos, Afro-Panamanians, we are the bridge between this sort of idea that the African American community and the Latino community are so far apart. And then we come in and we bridge that together. And that's what Encuentro Diaspora Afro does. Encuentro in English means the gathering, the coming together, the acknowledging of the African diaspora.
And tell us some of the exercises or discussions or things you would be doing with the students to I guess, make them feel that, the way they are, they should feel good about themselves, I guess, right? Mm-hmm. And feel good about their culture and where they come from.
We have this basic activity that we do at the beginning. It's like walk across the room if you love your hair. And you would be surprised how many people don't walk. And that includes men and women.
Right.
Because we're told that you have to have a certain texture, it has to look a certain way. And in the Latino community, it's deeply rooted that if you have this or natural, it's pelo malo, bad hair. So you have to break down with the students, even adults, like your hair is not bad. But we're told it's so ingrained in us that being in your natural form is not attractive. You know, walk across the room if you are of African descent. A lot of people don't know what that means. You know, they hear African and they think, even within our Black communities, they hear African, they think, oh, I don't hang from tree or whatever, because that's the image that people have presented of Africa. And it's like, no, it's of descent, which means you have a story, an ancestor that started from there and came to where you are from. And you have to explain that, even to the most educated settings. We've had to explain that.
Do you touch on immigration at all in your workshops? How that's affecting people's self-esteem? You want to talk a little bit about that, please?
I mean, as an immigrant myself, it's a must, because immigrants are seen as the lesser than, and there's this idea from African Americans and, you know, or those born here, that immigrants come here with the intent of taking something away from here. What folks need to also understand is that many immigrants come here because of the U.S. influence in most of our countries and the impact that it has. And it's almost a forced migration.
Good point. That's a really good point.
For many ways.
It's a really good point. They see the TV, they see the movies, they see all the culture, and they want to be part of it, or they want to be part of the economic success of it.
Exactly. So we really address it that way, and also to not feel that you're lesser than, or that you can't succeed because you're an immigrant. But the immigrant conflict is internal, because this country has different relationships with different countries that they highlight and they don't. So if you're from a country that's in conflict with the U.S., you tend to feel lesser than in a different way than if you're from a country that has a good relationship with the U.S. So, i.e., for instance, Venezuelans right now have not a good relationship with the U.S.
Right.
So Afro-Venezuelans in this country are feeling watched and not safe. You know, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, you know, all these countries that have some level of conflict in some shape or form. El Salvador, you know, Haitians. It weighs on you.
That's right.
And I have to say, Brad, in the years that I've been here, coming in and out, traveling nationally and internationally, as an immigrant, I have never felt so sad and so filled with pain with the tone that is being presented towards immigrants today. I want to say that I stand with those people, not just as a human being first and foremost, but as an immigrant who feels the pain.
That's right.
Feels the pain. It's painful.
So let me
watch. It's painful to know.
So let me ask you this. Let's get off of politics for 1 second, because we can go on for that forever. Your workshops, who attends them? Do white people attend them? Do Americans attend them? What do different groups get out of them, do you think, or does everybody get the same thing out of it?
No. I think for an African American, if it's predominantly African American, they get a deeper understanding of what it means to be an African descendant, and they get to look outside of the U.S. To other people of African descent. You know, you can't be talking about Marcus Garvey and not understand the impact that he had in Latin America and the Caribbean, not just the U.S. So it connects us on a deeper level. For Latinos, it challenges their internal racism, however light or dark they came out, to understand that, yes, we are mixed. I have European, we have indigenous, and we have African, but somewhere or the other, we are told that the African is the one we need to hide. And when you ask families that Latino, the trainings, and you say, how many of you have the spectrum of shades in your family? And you hear people say, oh, my grandmother's just as dark as you. My father's just as dark as you. And then they have to reveal to themselves, oh my God, I've been holding that on. And then you have the white setting that it challenges them to name their privilege and acknowledge the bias. However woke anybody thinks they are, there's a level of bias that you carry. You have to deeper into a cultural, racial conversation, that bias will show up, and we allow it to show up and sit with that discomfort and try to move through it.
You know, the idea of people, no matter their race, creed, color, religion, nationality, man, woman, sexual orientation. Everyone has the same right and equal opportunity, to fulfill whatever dreams that they have here. It doesn't always work out that way in reality. But let me ask you this question: If we had to ask you what your American dream would be, what would it be?
As I sit here today and thinking of some of the things that we touched on, my American dream would be that people that look like me, people of African descent, African Americans, Black people, people of color, be seen in their human light and not from this animalistic, aggressive place that we are being seen. Right now, we're living in times where walking Black is hazardous to your health, is hazardous to your being. You have people just calling police on you walking while Black.
That's right.
Sitting while Black, eating while Black.
Driving while Black.
Driving while Black.
Breathing while Black. I mean, literally
Exactly.
breathing. I mean, it's just whatever you're doing. Right.
So my American dream would be to really, that this country really face the historical pain, the historical damage that they have done to people of African descent, and repair it. It's time for reparative justice. It's time to repair the relationship, the aggressiveness.
How do you repair? How do you repair it?
You start talking about it. You acknowledge it. You name it. You name. Apologies have been given to many communities of color because of this country's treatment towards them. Nowhere in the world have people of African descent been on the receiving end of what was a humanitarian raping of our people, a humanitarian violence towards our people, and that has not been fully acknowledged around the world.
All right. Yvette Modestin, wonderful. Very, very, very interesting, smart lady. I wish you all the best. It sounds like you're doing a wonderful job up there. It was also really cool to hang out and chat with you. It was a fun conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time.
Even though it was some heavy stuff, it's a fun conversation I had with you. So thanks.
It was.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Awesome.
Yvette. She was a very cool lady.
Beautiful energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and she just changed her hairdo.
Yeah.
Just for I don't know if it was just for the show, but she.
No, those are locks now.
Yeah.
So you don't change locks just for a show.
Just for the show. That's for a while.
Yeah.
That's a long-term commitment.
Yeah.
That's a long-term commitment. That's not a blowout, right?
Yeah. No, that's definitely not a blowout.
Would you ever rock dreadlocks?
No. I wanted to when I was like in high school, but nah, I don't think I'll look right.
I don't know. I feel like you'd look cute.
Really?
Yeah.
With some locks?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yo-Yo, I feel bad for you because there's not a lot I can do on my end at this point.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to dreadlock your hair?
I can't do anything right now. Okay.
But there are man weaves.
Man weaves?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do a man. No, I'm not doing a man weave. All right. And then
that should have been a good dare.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I have the sunroof in my car. Then it like starts flipping in the wind. Flapping in the wind.
I have a dare for Brad. One episode, you have to wear a wig.
Wear a wig. That would have been a good one. That would have been a good one. Wear a toupee.
Yes.
See, that is equivalent to him taking his shirt off and us going.
That's much better than Brad will wear a toupee.
For one episode. Can we just do that instead of the twerk?
No.
Guys,
that's hilarious.
No.
Petition. Brad Squad, petition. Toupee for Brad.
I'd rather twerk than do the toupee.
Take off my shirt.
All right.
That's not surprising.
All right, so we got 5 questions left.
We do.
What is it?
All right, Monique Lawrence. Hey, right? Yeah, all right. So when married to a U.S. citizen, how long can you file for citizenship?
3 years after getting your green card.
Ed says, I'm from Ghana and I was once married to an American. She was 20 years older than me. After we got married, she went back to the States and abandoned our marriage. And I found out that she was cheating on me with another man in the U.S. So I filed for a divorce, and while my divorce was in process, I met my new wife on Facebook, who is also an American. And we were friends. She came to visit me in Ghana. She went back to the States. My divorce got approved. after she left, and she came back within 5 months. We got married. She filed a petition. We got approved.
Is there a question in here?
I know. It's
very long.
Listen, he gave us all the details we asked for. So the question is, we got approved by USCIS after, and after that, she came to Ghana again, which makes it the 3rd time that she's been visiting me. My question is, since my first wife never filed a petition at all, would my marriage affect her affect my new wife's petition at the interview in the U.S. Embassy in Ghana when we go?
It doesn't affect anything. I mean, obviously you were married, you fell in love, you fell out of love, you fell back in love. They just want to make sure that this current marriage is real and legitimate. That's all that matters.
You can't get mad at the details because you're always asking for details.
You know what? You're right.
You cannot
I thought
get
about
mad.
it after.
You cannot.
I thought about it after. He gave a very detailed question. It's what we ask for.
We ask.
And you needed to know that.
So basically, I'm never happy no matter what happens, right?
Exactly.
Basically, you can't make me happy. You give a detailed question, I'm like, all right, get to the question already. And then if you don't give me any details, and then I'm like, give me details.
Where are the details?
All right.
So I like that question. That was good.
Good question.
All right, Shiaka. Hey, I just want to ask if you can help me find a company to sponsor me with the green card through employment, or do I have to find my own? Thank you.
Got to find your own. We don't do that.
Nikki says, I've been to the U.S. since 2016, but my boyfriend has overstayed for the last year. We're married. What could I do to help him get his green card?
File an adjustment application for him. He'll get his work permit in 120 days. He'll get his green card in about 9-10 months.
All right, I have one from Casey Broomfield.
Yes.
This is the last one.
Last one.
Good evening. I have a question. If someone is on a 10-year bond for overstaying, 10-year bond?
No such thing. 10-year bar.
Bar. That's what I see.
Right.
I'm learning.
Right. It's Facebook to Google translation.
Okay, gotcha. For overstaying in, maybe it was a ban.
Ban, maybe. Right.
For overstaying in the States and has only covered 8 years out of the ban, can that person get a working visa on the government program to work in the U.S.? The employer would petition on her behalf for the visa.
Nope, you have a 10-year bar.
So 2 more years, and then you can come back and do it?
Yeah.
All right, Casey.
All right, and now finally, all right, we have comment of the day, and now this is a special comment of the day, because the comment of the day will win 2 free movie tickets at a movie theater near that person. I'm sure every movie theater in the United States has gift certificates, right? I don't know any movie theater that doesn't.
That's true.
And popcorn and soda.
What theater?
I don't know. Whatever they're close to, we'll figure it out.
Oh.
And popcorn and soda and Twizzlers and Raisinets on Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo's buying the popcorn.
That wasn't part of
Yes, Yo-Yo's buying. Yes, that was the deal. All right, so comment of the day, and this is a big one. Now, we were going to originally pick the funniest comment of the day.
We got there.
And what?
We got there.
You got it.
Oh, we got there.
Oh, you got to the funniest comment?
I'm going to switch up the rules last minute, Brad.
Okay. So we got funniest comment
because
of the day.
We got 2. We got one that was just absolutely
astounding. So we're gonna give away 2 different.
We got to give 2 pairs of tickets.
All right, that's how special we are. Even though we only spun the wheel, on the yellow once, we're gonna give away 2 sets of movie tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna let Belgium Kim take it over. Drum roll, please.
This is how much we love y'all, man.
Yeah. Drum roll, please.
The first one goes to the most dedicated Brad Squad member today. Asset Lindo is at a funeral and watching Brad show live.
Because she can't get enough of the show.
I'm at a funeral, but I can't miss my show.
Right. If she's at a funeral and still watching the show, you got to give her 2 movie tickets.
She got to earn tickets.
Right.
Condolences for your loss, Asset. Right. I hope that you guys are having a celebration of life. She was saying that it's a no tears funeral. So,
good.
Whew. Yes.
That was
worthy of the movie tickets, right?
Absolutely.
And then Cece Mitchell had to swoop in at the
last second.
We didn't think we had any really funny comments.
And she swooped in at the last second.
Cece Mitchell swooped in and
I don't even know this comment.
What it is.
Cece Mitchell goes, when Brad wears the wig. So when, not if, when. Ooh. When Brad wears the wig, we will have a wig off to see who wears it better, Brad or the orange guy.
Now I gotta wear the wig. I gotta do the toupee. congratulations. Asset Lindo wins 2 movie tickets and popcorn and soda on Bradshaw Live. And Cece Mitchell also winning 2 movie tickets, popcorn and soda on Bradshaw Live, because we spun the wheel and it landed on yellow for 2 free movie tickets. And congratulations to you both. Thanks for watching. I guess I got to twerk tomorrow.
You
Boy,
do.
they got me doing all sorts of ridiculous things now.
All right? Spin this wheel more often.
Twerking, wearing wigs.
Yes.
All right. Brad.
It's got to be when I'm here.
What?
It's got to be when I'm here.
Yes, right. Fair enough. See you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.